Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and I am here to just provide you with some tips on how to best manage an EduMais classroom. The first thing that I really like to do is when the scholars or when the kiddos are coming in, be very energetic, excited that you're here, give them a clap in the hands and just show them that you're excited for them to be here. Once they get seated, something that I love to do is start getting close to them, so breaking the instructional plane so that they feel that we're all part of the community, and you're also showing with your body language that you're not scared or nervous, but rather that you are willing to teach and excited for them to learn. I would also recommend that you greet them with good morning and then start smoothly our good morning circle. That's the very first thing that you want to do in order to make sure that everyone feels included and welcome into this space. After the good morning circle, I usually go down the list of things that we write down on our whiteboard consistently. The guidelines is something that is really, really key, especially on your first day teaching, on your second day teaching. This is going to be the first time that the kids are getting to know you and you're getting to know the kids. And so establishing those consistent boundaries and routines is going to be really, really important. So for example, if the kids know that when you're teaching, they always need to raise their hand, they always need to listen, they're not going to feel that they can break that. But it's really hard to establish consistency if the first or second time you haven't established those things. So what I usually do for the guidelines is I just ask one or two or three kids to tell me, to remind me what the guidelines are. And if they shout it out, ask them to wait, for them to raise their hand, and then to give you the guideline, to show you that they understand these things. So they're saying, oh, our guideline is raise your hand, but they're not showing you to raise your hand. It's not clear to the rest of the group what the expectation is. So the expectation needs to be, I raise my hand, I'm waiting until you call on me, and then you're showing me that you understand that. And then listening to teachers and listening to the classmates is going to be really important, and showing them what that looks like. So showing them, like, I'm listening to the teacher, I'm listening to my classmates, in order to show respect towards the teacher and then towards each other. After the guidelines, I usually go through emotions. So I ask, some of our younger kids like that everyone is called on, so everyone wants to be called on. If you don't have that much time, you can ask 1, 2, 3 people, but if you can have the opportunity to ask everyone, I think that's a great way to start the class. So you can ask them, how are you feeling? And always push for them to say, I feel, meaning they recognize that this is their feeling. I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel okay. Usually the kids will say, I feel happy. If they do say, I feel sad, just recognize the feeling. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It's okay to feel sad, so you can say, oh, I'm sorry, and then continue moving on so that they recognize it's okay that you're feeling sad in the moment. It doesn't have to be this whole thing. And then also if they feel mad, you just recognize that. Like they say, I feel mad, and you say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, and then we move on. That's also going to give you a huge insight into what the class will look like. So if you notice that a lot of the kids are saying, I feel mad, I feel sad, I feel angry, it's probably because something might have happened in the class before. So it's also important to know how you're going to structure your class moving forward from that moment. And then, so that's in terms of like structure at the beginning of the class, and you would move on to the learning objective and then have them repeat back. And that's something I want to emphasize. Our class here in EduMais is really based on oral English. So it's really, really important that they're practicing consistently the words and the vocabulary that they're learning on that day. We usually tend to teach them a very specific, short amount of vocabulary that they'll be able to repeat and practice throughout the whole class. In this case, we were talking about sports, so the learning objective was, I can talk about sports in English. We had all of our vocabulary up on the board, and in order to have them repeat back, I would say, I'm going to say it, you're going to say it. So I would say, I can talk about sports in English, you say, and then wait until everyone says it. It usually takes 1 to 2 tries at the start of the class so that they get into the routine of, I'm going to say it, and show them, like, I'm going to say it, and then you're going to say it back to me, so that they get into this routine of, I speak, you speak, but in a way that's consistent and friendly for them, so that they're always repeating. In this case, we talked about different sports, so I could say, there was running, ballet, I would say, I like running, and then wait until they say, I say, you say. Something else that I think is going to be really important for you to be successful in EduMais is making sure that you adhere to the guidelines every single time. So again, consistency, consistency, consistency. One of the biggest things that we try to teach the kids is self-regulation. And in order to maintain relationships and to have conversations with other people, you need to be respectful about what other people say and listen to other people. And when they're talking to each other, it's really hard to do that. So what we do is, if I'm talking, I need everyone, 100% of the class, to be completely silent. And that is going to be expected from each of the kids when they're talking. 100% of us are silent in order to listen to what they have to say. How do you get 100%, you might be asking? In order to get 100%, you need to model 100%. So if they're having side conversations and I'm ready for them to listen to me, I immediately go like this. I don't have to say shh, I just go like this. And I wait. And they're going to push each other to be like, hey, like, we're waiting. The other co-teachers are also going to help you model this so that everyone is listening now to the teacher. Anytime that you hear a side conversation if someone else is talking, again, you model this and you wait, and then you have the kid repeat back so that everyone again gets into that pattern of, I'm listening to one person and I'm being respectful, and 100% of us need to listen in order for us to move on. Another tip that I wanted to give you is sticking to the lesson plan. The lesson plan is your guide, and it's going to specifically tell you everything that you need to do. Many of you might be starting with no teaching experience, and that's okay. The lesson plan is really there to guide you to the words that you should be using, the things that the kids are already familiar with, so the consistency has already been built in EduMais. Your role is really to follow the lesson plan and use those words in order for them to remember those key words that you want them to take away when they leave the class. Something else to consider is they're in an English class, they're learning English for maybe the first time, second year, third year. They're taking risks every time that they're raising their hand and sharing something. So it's really important that you, as a co-teacher or as a lead teacher, positively reinforce that participation, that courage of them speaking out. So a quick example could be if they raise their hand and they have really good pronunciation, or at least they're trying to pronunciate really well, you can say like, oh, that was great pronunciation. Really naming the thing that you're noticing that they're doing, so that everyone else also is encouraged to want to participate and want to say what they think. And then also if they're struggling, because some of our kids struggle with some of our words, we just say like, wow, thank you so much for pushing through, or for trying your best. Great job doing X, Y, and Z. Really naming the things that you are noticing that they're doing to encourage participation across the board, but also to celebrate that they're being courageous and participating. Some other examples that you could use is good try, great pronunciation, nice job listening, nice job following the guidelines. I see that you raised your hand and you waited patiently. I also saw that you worked with your partner, that you collaborated, that you were listening to each other. Those are just some things to highlight so that they know specifically the things that you're looking for as you're leading the class. Thank you so much. I am thrilled that you will be joining EduMais. It will be an experience that will change your life.